Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Circus here, coming back with another video about the Darklord deck that we profiled a couple weeks ago with Snyffus. Recently, Battle Phase 41 just happened and it took first place. So I thought we'd have Snyffus come back on the show and take a look at the deck. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's fun. We did this video a couple weeks ago, and it's our #1 video. Did you know that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, #1 views. A lot of people loved it. So, like I said in the video, we'd have you back on the show, and we talk about the deck, and it won a tournament. So this is a perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
So the deck list we have on screen is this. It's a little bit different than your deck list, right?
Yeah, so some things have changed over the past week, and this is now the new updated deck list.
Okay. What changed?
So the first thing that you're probably going to notice is we're only playing one contact and one eggshell. That's because it makes the deck a bit more consistent, even though it doesn't seem like it, but it allows you to get us out of some awkward hands because normally you would be reliant on having the Lights One engine. But now with Ixchel you can turbo through your deck even without those cards, and that's pretty helpful.
Because before it didn't have Ixchel at all, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to really see your entire deck, you have to draw like Charge or Raiden. But now you can just Banishment, get the Ixchel, turbo through your deck again.
Right, because a lot of times you're just trying to play through a brick, right?
Yeah. And the second change we have is we kept the Morning Star for the second Desire. That's because Floodgate is pretty popular in this meta, and having two Desire helps a lot. Like, one gets Floodgated, just search another one. Also, if you mill really fast, most of the time you will just mill all your Darklord cards and all your monsters, so you can't even summon anything off Morningstar.
So the Desire's important enough to run too, because it's good removal.
Yeah, very versatile.
Okay, and then how about the extra deck? Is that pretty much the same? Because we touched on Synchroing a little bit last time, but in the finals we did see him go into Star Eater, which I thought was surprising.
That's probably the synchro we make the most. It's the easiest to make out of all of these. Just with Naston and the Raiden, get that 3,200 beat stick.
All right, what else is I see? He's got a little Shiranui, a little Black Rose. What else is in there?
Yeah, the Black Rose is also really cool against Element Saber because it's just always a threat if you have the Uko back on field, and they end up having to make awkward plays like Molehu effect, flip down Uko back. That's not optimal.
Okay. And what about Sam Destroyer? Do you ever actually go into that, or is that just I need a level
Sam
7?
Destroyer. It's kind of nice versus Crystron because it prevents the graveyard effects. Also versus Cyber Dragon because it has a second effect. If it's destroyed by a card effect, you can just summon it back, and that's kind of cool if they like use the trap cybernetic overflow, destroy it, just summon it back.
Okay. What's that level 10 there on the end?
Yeah, that's for Jet. That's you still like very rarely make it, but it's cool to have the option. It's pop itself and the face-up card your opponent controls.
Okay. All right, so each one has a very, very specific use.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just nice to have them if you want to have it's just an extra toolbox.
Right, so it's not something like a lot of decks they want to get into their synchros right away. This is more of a, ooh, I got something I got to deal with on the field, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to point out about the deck?
The skill is the same, no model. It only got better in the meta, honestly.
Yeah, and it definitely comes into play in the finals.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right. Well, why don't we take a look at the footage here, and then we'll discuss what we see.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is game one here. We're obviously watching sped up a little bit because when you watch this thing live, there's a lot of times they sit there and think for a very long time and it's very slow. But what are we seeing here? Just kind of like a standard opening?
Yeah, this is like Charge Banishment. It's like the strongest hand in the deck. You see how he milled so many cards already. Got like 2 or 3 banishments in the graveyard. The contact flood the field. And now he's going for the Stide at turn 1. So this is kind of an interesting play. You can do it versus back row heavy decks because it says when it attacks, it's unaffected by card effects, so like no wall of the...
Alright. Is that something you run into a lot? Walla D? Yeah, I suppose, right? Because you get 3 big beaters out there and they just want to wipe them down if they can. And
yeah, that was always like a strong counter card to Darklords.
All right. So what are we seeing here? Just Dark Lord plays, gaining life.
Yeah, he's just healing himself up, just setting up his board, and just attacking with the Cider.
Now, Shiranui, I feel like they're not. They start with a pretty bad hand here.
That's the problem with Shiranui. They can get going versus other decks, but versus Darklords, they heavily lose to the Sanctified Negate because they need to get that effect to get the engine going.
Right.
You see here again, Spirit Master just gets stopped by the Sanctified and he just has nothing.
Just yeah, every time he tries to do something, he gets negated.
Yeah. And we will see that next turn now.
I mean, he can get over the Star Eater if he can get going here, but he just can't even get going.
Yeah, and now, like normally, okay, he has a Spectral Sword in the graveyard, so normally Shiranui's now in the next one would be able to just make a Synchro out of the graveyard. But not versus this deck. Oh wait, he doesn't even do it. Yeah, he just...
Yep, that's it. All right, so now they're side decking. So this is after game one. So they have a 5-card side they can go into and kind of customize their deck for who they're playing against. So
yeah, so typical side deck options versus Shiranui. Honestly, you don't even need much because your engine and your skill just already destroyed the deck. So just side like a Jinzu, so you can't get affected by the back row, and you should be good.
I believe this is another really quick game. This was a quick 2-0. And you were there for the whole thing, right? You saw it live?
Yeah, I watched this.
Yeah.
It just shows like how favorable this matchup is. Now he sends the Sanctified in the graveyard because he's afraid of Cosmic post side. Reasonable play.
What was that he took out there?
He used Mistaken Rest, so he can't add cards anymore. So the banishment is essentially negated.
Okay.
Yeah, and here again, just sent like another Sanctified. Kill the monster, and you just stop the play now with the negate.
Oh, he's just setting. That's never a good sign, right?
Yeah.
That's never good. That's never good.
No, that's a really bad spot for him. And now here comes the skill into play. Like, normally he'd be able to like at least make a Synchro now with his graveyard, but it's a skill 7.
Yeah. So now he's in trouble.
Yeah. But he actually has the Solitaire, which is the best card he could have had in this spot.
Right. There's that Skull Servant looking right at you.
Yeah.
So he goes into the 8 here. I do remember that.
Yeah, now he can actually make plays.
Yeah.
He's thinking about going to the level 10, but if he would go into it, it'd just get negated, so he thought he'd rather keep his field.
All right, there you go. Gets the life point gain. And you'd think it'd be over here for Darklords, but we know that's not true. That's never true. Darklords never die. Even with just a couple cards in their hand.
Add back Desire, pay some life points, summon the Desire, send it, and
no mortal can
again.
Resist. Oh my
Everything
God.
is skull summoned.
That's just dirty.
It's so unfair.
So how long till that gets nerfed?
Hopefully next banned list.
But who knows when that's going to be, right?
That's also true. Might need to play this in KC Cup.
Oh no.
And here. Solitaire, normally such a great starter card, but just gets negated.
There's just nothing Shiranui could do.
Yeah.
Obviously, he got the one playoff, but that was really about it. So it was a pretty quick 2-0 in the finals there. But we can take a look at his matchups earlier in the evening. All right, so this is how he did overall. The battle phase is a 5 rounds of Swiss and then a top 32. So what you're seeing on the screen is against Shiranui, he faced him twice and went 2-0. Against Cyber Dragons, he faced him 3 times and went 2-1, and so on and so forth. He was 9-1 in his matches overall, and then overall he went 18-4. So that's not too bad, I'd say.
That's impressive, yeah.
I was kind of surprised he faced Kawaki once.
Yeah, same. But I guess that's in the early rounds of the tourney.
Right, and Magician Girl Invoked of all things.
Yeah, that's also, you don't see that deck that often.
No. So he did see Shiranui, Cyber Dragons, E-Sabers. Light Swarms, I'd have to say that's not really a top tier deck, right?
That was the Light Sworn Monarch deck, actually, that he faced. Yeah, it's not top tier, but
Right.
it's an interesting deck.
Right. So I mean, against what you would consider the top decks, he went overall 6-1. So
Yeah, like Shionui just Darklords dominate that matchup.
yeah, as we
So
saw.
yeah, that's how it usually goes. It wasn't just him getting lucky.
So how do you think this deck's gonna continue to perform? Because I looked at other match reports or tournament reports from the week. This was the only one where the Dark Lords even topped.
That's true, and it has been kind of weird for them. But I think it's just the meta in general is very open, so a lot depends on like the meta is always changing right now since we have so many viable decks. So like right now, or like last week, Shiranui performed very good in tournaments, so this was a great counterpick to those.
Okay.
And if like say suddenly now Lunar Lights become very popular, then that's also going to be a great time to use Dark Lords because they also dominate that matchup. But
Okay.
if Black Wings suddenly become popular, then I'd probably not use it.
Okay. All right. So right now the meta is just too diverse to really claim an overall winner of it. So sometimes some things are going to win, sometimes they're not. So it's even still too early to say if this is going to be a dominant deck. It just had a good night.
Honestly, yeah, you can just play, like, if you play anything good right now, you can do well at the tournament.
Okay. So again, we're gonna have to sit and wait before we make our final decision, but it's still strong enough to win a tournament.
It's pretty strong right now.
All right, man. We'll have to have you back on again in a couple of weeks to see where we're going with this deck. Probably post KC Cup, right?
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to do that. So if you guys like what you saw tonight and what you heard, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on Discord. I don't know, there's all kinds of things you can do. Make sure to do all of them because we'd love it if you did that. And we'll see you next time here on Duel Links Entertainment.
See ya.
And as you can see, he faced one magician girl invoked, which I thought was kind of weird.
Shoutouts to Neck 1.
Oh, too soon, man. Too soon.